Hi, my name's Alora, and you're here because you grabbed my ebook, so congratulations, very exciting. And I just wanted to share a little bit about myself. So in 2021, I had my youngest daughter, and she has a defect. And so it was a pretty rare heart defect, and I knew about 20 something weeks pregnant that she had that and that she might have to have open heart surgery. So later on down the road, we found out that yes, she was going to have open heart surgery. And so she was born in another state. She was born at the Kansas City Children's Hospital. And she had open heart surgery at 10 days old. And so she was doing pretty well afterwards. So we got to take her home about a week and a half after that surgery. Fast forward, she's still doing really good. She didn't have to be on very many medications. And so I went back to work as a property manager when she was 6 weeks, I believe. And she was still doing really well for a while. Her heart was working fine. We was having her checkups. And then at 4 months old, she contracted RSV, which, as you know, is a common cold for kids that can be really rough on them. Well, she was doing fine. She was just having a little bit of breathing issues. And so they checked her lungs and they put her on antibiotics for possible pneumonia. Well, she started breaking out in a rash. She started breaking out in hives everywhere. So we took her off the antibiotics. We thought that that's what was, like, it was an allergic reaction to those antibiotics. It turns out that it was not. And so she got better, but months goes on and the rash is still coming back. She's just randomly running like high fevers and just really cranky and like not feeling well. And at that time she was 4 months when she got RSV, and then another 4 months goes by and this is still happening to her. We're trying to get her into somebody to do like allergy tests and stuff like that to see if she's allergic to a food or like something that's around the house. But it was taking forever to get her in. So 8 months old, she turns 8 months old, and she contracted two common cold viruses for us adults. I can't remember what they were called, but she had two of those cold viruses at once. So I take her back to the hospital because she just didn't act like she was feeling well. They said that they were surprised that she was doing as well as she was, sent us back home to just watch her. And then the next day, she was doing very bad. She was lethargic. She couldn't move her body. And so I took her back to the hospital, and they ended up flying her back to Kansas City where she was born because she was in tachycardia. She had a temperature of 104, and she had the rash all over her body still. And so things were just really weird. And so I'm going to make this really long story short that we still go through every day with our youngest daughter. I'll make it as short as I can for you guys. She was flown back to Kansas City, and we was there in December of 2021, and we were there for 3 weeks. We had all of the teams: hematology, oncology, rheumatology, infectious disease, everyone that you could think of running all these tests on her. The poor baby had to have, blood drawn more than once a day the entire stay there. And finally, that third week, they came up with the diagnosis that she had juvenile arthritis. And so we put her on a medication. We got back home, I think 1 or 2 days before Christmas that year, and it's honestly hard to even tell the story because there's just like so much that goes into it and so much that's still happening. Granted, she is doing a lot better now because I've been able to be at home with her now because of what I do. But anyways, so since then to now, she's went through multiple medication changes, multiple hospital stays for 2 to 3 weeks at a time, lab draws every week, all kinds of doctor's visits, and to say the least, like the juvenile arthritis has been way more traumatic on us as a family and her as a little baby than her heart disease ever has been. And so, all of this time, I was still working as a property manager, and it was really, really difficult. Being a property manager is already a very stressful job, and then having to go through this crazy stuff with her, and still having an older daughter to take care of, and a husband, and trying to keep your relationships like okay, was really, really hard. So my daughter wasn't getting any better. Her health was just declining in 2022. And I knew, and we were in and out of the hospital for a couple weeks at a time, and I knew that, the place that my employer had worked with me as much as they could in this situation, and I appreciate them for that. But I knew that my time there was probably not going to be for very much longer. So I knew that either I was going to have to leave or my employer was going to let me go. Like there was just too much going on. So, and I was very, terrified of that because I thought that I enjoyed my career there. I thought that this was like the first time I'd ever felt like I really liked something that I did, and I was really doing well there, like, climbing the corporate ladder, if that's what you, it wasn't really corporate, but I was doing really well. And so I did not quit. I couldn't make the decision on my own. They ended up letting me go. Blessed that they did because things are just completely different for me now. But what happened was right before they let me go, I was not looking for anything like affiliate or digital marketing. They're basically the same thing. But I was not looking for anything like that. I was kind of looking for something that maybe I could do hourly from home with my kids, which is really hard to find because when you have a young child and then a 5-year-old, it's like impossible to find anything. You can't just sit on like the phone like at a call center, when you're home with 2 kids. So I didn't think I was going to be able to find anything anyways. But right before they fired me, like 2 weeks before, I think, maybe three, um, a friend of mine sent me another mom on social media that was talking about affiliate marketing and what it has done for her family. And so I immediately go to her page. I follow her. I start looking into her stuff. And so here is something else that I want to tell you guys. I have personally done so many things from home since 2016. 2016 was the first year that I ever tried anything from home. And that started with MLMs and things like that. I'm not going to bash MLMs. I think they are really good for some people. They didn't work out for me in the past. But I even went as far as to when in 2019 or 2020 when COVID hit, I created my first website that was like complex, and I'm not techie at all. So I went out of my way to do all kinds of research, created my own complex website, created a blog. Long story short, that didn't all the time that I spent on that stuff didn't last me long either. And so, after I followed this mom and I listened to her story and was seeing what it was doing for her family, it didn't take me no time at all to be like, okay, the position I'm in, all the things that I've tried from home before, I know this is something legit. So I watched a video of a guy and of a guy named Dave Sharp, and it was about him talking about affiliate and digital marketing and him talking about the 15-day course that he had created to teach people how to do this. And it was the same course that this other mother had taken to get started. And I just had a light bulb moment, and he explained things in a way that I'd never heard before, and why all this other stuff wasn't working. And I was just like, wow, like this is what I've been missing this entire time. And so this was right before I was let go. And so I immediately started the challenge, started the 15-day course. And I was then, right after I started, ended up going back to the hospital with my daughter. And we was there for, I don't know, probably a week or two. And I was doing the course while I was in the hospital as much as I could. It took me more than the 15 days because there was just a lot going on, because I finished the rest when I got back home from the hospital with her. Um, but it was just, at first I was, skeptical because I had tried so many things, and I know you do have to be careful with things that are online, of course, especially nowadays. But I just came to the realization that, like, wow, this is what I've been missing all these years, and it's 2023, like, or 2022 at the time. Um, this has to be like the way that people are making this happen. And so I just dove in head first, like got as much education around it as I could, and started applying the things that I was learning. And I've only been doing this for 4 or 5 months now at the time of making this video. And I can't tell you how much it's already changed my life. Um, just this, not even just financially, but my mindset and as an individual, as a person, has completely changed, and I've learned so much over the past few months. I just want to share my knowledge with everyone, and I just want to congratulate you again. for being here, and I encourage you to continue looking into this, whether you're skeptical or not. I encourage you to take the next steps. I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you that you took the first step. And yes, so I just want to encourage you to go to the next page and take a look at the same course that I took, literally a $7 course that has changed the course of my entire life and my family's. And I'm able to stay home with my children now and be home when my husband walks through the door after he gets off work. He's a mason. He's a construction worker, and be able to, you know, have dinner cooked and have my house clean, and you know, work out during the day, eat healthy foods, focus on me too, not just financial things, but me personally. I've never been able to just focus on me before like I have been in the past few months. And so that's been something that has just really, really changed me. And the honestly, even the relationships that I have with family, with my kids, with my husband, like I didn't realize how much I'd lost myself in working 45 hours a week and trying to take care of two kids and still have a relationship with my husband. And so just this, I'm not even close to like the average that an affiliate marketer makes, but just the small amount that I'm already making per month has really just sparked fire in me, and has this has opened up so many more doors than I would ever think would be, you know, opened up for me. So, and you know, I just really, with in saying all of that, I know I'm rambling at this point, but I just am very excited for you and encourage you to head on over to the next page, look at the same course that I took to get started, and I wish you the best of luck.